Alright, mics are hot.
Mike's hot. Mike's hot. All right. Well, cheers to Soul Bliss once again. Thank you for this. So, just before we start, I just wanted to say happy birthday, Mitch, because it is your birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for announcing that to everybody.
Yeah, happy birthday. So, today, because it's only 12:30. So,
now?
yeah, right.
This moment in time.
At this moment in time. So, we got Jelly Kelly and we've got DJ Emma on.
Hey, Cyberspace.
Hi.
How
So-
y'all doing?
Yeah, how you girls doing? Yeah, you good?
I'm fabulous as always. I'm always fabulous and fine.
Yep.
She identifies as a very excited jelly bean.
I am, I'm Jelly Kelly and I'm 9 and I'm very shy and I'm just trying to blend in. I'm
Don't believe her. She's not shy.
Yeah.
My daughter snuck into the studio today. I'm sorry, everyone.
I was on my way to the park. I don't know what's happening right now.
That's all good. She's always welcome here.
Yeah. So, what do you girls do? Like, you girls are very prominent in the industry by the looks of it, and you do quite a few different things around the music area,
Oh,
right?
I like that. I like that. We are Instagram buddies and the latest in Perth wedding entertainment.
Very nice.
Yeah, people pay us lots of money to come and entertain, and we just wanted to come and share some of what we do and how we got here and hot tips for how to make your next event epic.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
how long have you guys been in the industry for?
I have done 5 years, my friend. My business has been going for 5 whole years.
That's quite a
It's
while.
a long time considering I'm only 9.
Remind us what your business is again.
So I run a business called Perth Party Time, and it's absolutely fabulous. And I do a show called Jelly Kelly and the Muffins, and a show called The Tragic Magic Show, and another one called Toddler Time Magical Play. And my other ego, Kelly Joy, is a wicked.
Very nice.
And so yes, I do school balls, school discos, kids DJs, but I've also got an adult business called DJ Entertainment, or I do wedding DJ. I'm very sophisticated when I do that.
And
Oh.
we've got some of those links here, don't we? To
Yeah.
show? Yeah.
I've already put them up on
Oh,
the
you
screen.
have? Okay.
Not too sophisticated.
Keep
I
up
hope.
with it, Alex.
Gosh,
Come
no.
on.
Mitch is onto it.
I also get paid to pie face people.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Generally,
How do
a
I
wife,
get into that business?
Well, a wife will call me, or whoever adores you, they will
Yeah.
call me and they will say, "Please come pie face." Or my father-in-law or whatever, and I just arrive, gown him up, make a big fuss, and say, "This is the world's greatest," and then he gets pie.
Is it a
Oh.
profitable
Amazing.
industry?
Yeah.
Very,
How much
very.
are the pies?
They're very. Look, I do make enough pies, enough money.
So they're
to,
homemade pies?
They are indeed.
Nice.
They're made with lots and
No
lots
way.
of love.
I'd go
And-
straight to Coles. That's why she's the best.
I am.
I'm just curious as well, just while we're on the topic of pies here. Is there a specific type of pie you have to make to pie someone in the face? Like, I'm sure, like, you don't want, like, a crusty pie,
No,
right?
no, you
being-
don't want stinky pie.
No.
But then you also don't want that burns the eyeballs.
Right, so no...
Custard.
So
Tart.
it's a little bit of a skill, and I can't give my secrets.
Yeah, no
away,
secrets.
guys.
No.
I can't. I'll have to charge you. I am also a coach.
Too many copycats.
Oh yeah.
I'm a coach too.
I'm
A coach?
I heard Alex was a coach too. I mean,
Yeah,
Also,
in a way, a little bit.
Hello to Slade DeGregory on Facebooks. He's said hi all.
Steak and kidney pie.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, people
that would hurt.
underestimate the savoury pies, yeah?
Yeah.
Everyone goes for the sweet pies with the whipped cream, but yeah, steak and kidney pie, that sounds like a banger.
oh
Literally.
my gosh.
And so, Emma, then, so what's your involvement? Because
Yeah.
you do weddings, you do
I try
quite a
and stay
bit.
as far away as possible from this one. Do not get in her
Always.
way.
You are always hanging out at the manor, baby.
Yeah, if she's running the event, basically shut up and put out and just get involved. Do not try and and that's why we love her and we trust her. And we can send our clients to her anytime and they will be looked after. So and isn't it amazing you can feel what someone's going to offer from basically their vibe and their voice. I think it's really important to hear someone speak. Is why we agreed to come on here.
Yeah.
Well, it really does come down to that. It's how you project yourself in a way. How you can actually get the customer or the client to be able to go, yeah, I definitely want them.
And don't we miss the 3D? We've had so much 2D Instagram shiny that we just need real.
That's it. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start doing this, because you get to see the person for who they actually are, kind of thing.
Yep. So, why did you ask me on this podcast, Alex?
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, I just thought you'd be a good guest.
Okay.
To be honest,
She's a fabulous guest.
Okay, I'm a
It was
guest.
the charisma,
Yeah.
but it's
Oh.
also the fact that I think we've had a lot of like commercial side DJs.
That's exactly
on here.
it. And like a lot of nightclub DJs.
So it'd be
and
good
this
to
and
hear
that, and-
perspective from somebody who's more in the private.
Yeah.
Who's out hanging with the
Circuit.
commoners
Yes.
and hanging out with the peoples, not behind the stage. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of
It's
stage,
That's why he's involved. Gorgeous.
thank you so much. Shut up, Karen, if you're listening. But the problem is, I am a Karen. This is what I've realized lately is, you know how something irks you and then it's really just a reflection of your own baggage?
Yep.
I'm a Karen. When I became a mum, I started complaining about all kinds of things like nappies and like environmental issues and like
Washing
how
up.
polluting children are. Anyway, we came here to talk about music.
Yeah.
So music, right? Music is
That's why we're all here.
it's why we're all here. It's what brings us together. But what is someone's opinion of great music? Well, let me tell you. When someone asks me what kind of music do you play as a DJ, I've never played the music that I like. I've never played a set that is about me because we'd be in some underground S&M club in Germany listening to techno and no one wants to hear that. Except if they're really strange.
I'm sorry to break it to you, lady.
I have got a bestest friend who is so into the hard stuff.
I think that's the important to
yeah.
remember about music is it's so subjective, and it's the same with
Yeah.
any art form,
Yeah.
like paintings and stuff like that. Some people can look at a painting and be like, "Oh my god, that's amazing," and the next person can come along and be like, "It's just a yellow line with a blue border." What the hell? But it's the same with music. But coming back to that point where you say you've never played a set for yourself, and or going back again to the whole private versus commercial DJ thing, I think that's really the difference we're talking about here is that when you're playing at a nightclub, I would hope that the venue is hiring you because of the DJ, not because they want you to play their kind of music. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas if when you're doing an event, a private event for somebody, you're kind of expected to play to their taste.
Well, that's what you find out. They're the sort of questions that you ask. What are you into? You like what
Exactly,
makes you
and that doesn't
happy?
happen in the commercial scene because
No.
you get hired to play what you want to play, right? So the DJs in the commercial scene are playing what they want to play and they're enjoying it,
Nice.
and the crowd is, going on that energy. But when you're doing a private event, and this is where we don't have a lot of, like, we haven't talked about this much on the podcast, so
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear your perspective on the process that goes into coming up with a set
It's all about
and
love.
how to, all about love.
It's all about
Sharing.
connection and love and finding out who you are.
Right. So let's just say I'm your next client, right? I'm hiring you to DJ my wedding. What's the process you're going through here?
Ooh.
What do
Where
we do,
do we
Mum?
start?
What do we do?
Okay. So how did
Sorry
you?
to put you on the spot.
Okay. So
He's throwing the bombs out there.
Yeah.
It's a bang.
yeah. So like any business,
Mhm.
you want to kind of qualify your client in return. You don't want to be that desperado who's just going to serve anyone. You want to find out, how did they hear about you? Was it through a friend? Oh, I've been to a wedding you've done, or I've been to an event you've done, and
Yeah.
I want you.
Yep.
Great. What did you love about it? What did you hate about a wedding or an event that you saw that failed? And let's not do that. Because everyone's idea of that is different as well. But a vibe, you can't produce a vibe synthetically. You can't just like make a vibe happen.
All about raising the crowd.
You
That's
have
it.
to bring
Very
them in.
same
You have
as
to, yeah. So
The industry.
yeah. So tell me all about who's going to be at the wedding. Are they going to be or special event? Because let's face it, a lot of people are choosing not to get married. They're choosing to have 40th and throw down a few grand on them. They're going to have their
That's
50th.
my business. Big business.
Because 50th are the new 40th.
Of course.
So don't underestimate, that being the best party of your life either. Not just the wedding. I mean, love is great, but let's celebrate being single. Let's celebrate having a divorce as well. Because
let's just have a party.
Yeah,
I personally like to party every week.
So yeah, I do in my own room.
Well, it's good to see you enjoy it because, you wouldn't be throwing good parties if you hated it, right?
I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
I'm having a I average about 8 to 9 parties.
Wow.
So usually I start on a Friday and I don't finish till Sunday. I can do 4 on a Saturday. So we have a big, huge truck and we just go from gig to gig. In December, I did 40. So some days I was doing 4 a day. I was exhausted.
I'm not surprised.
January,
wow.
I was hoping it was going to be quiet, but still boom. And then February a little bit. I know it's tough out there.
Well, January and February is usually your quiet months, right?
Usually,
after everyone's partied out over
hello,
Christmas.
COVID.
Yeah.
It's not like that in the children's entertainment business. It's, for the last Februaries have.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Apart from
Yeah.
How has it been for you as well, Emma? Like
Well,
over
that's
that
the
period.
thing. When you hear about people tightening their wallets and they might take them away from the pub and they may not go out and spend $100 in the pub, but they might save that $100 for their next special event and plan it big. So as soon as these announcements have come out the last few weeks, we've had people get on the phone and get ready to bring everyone that they love to come.
Yeah, people want to party.
And that's the thing, you can't cancel love and you can't cancel dancing. I mean, you could try.
Yeah.
But
They have tried.
They tried, yeah.
When the initial, like in the UK, I can't remember how long ago, it would have been end of 2021, maybe early 2022. I don't know, that they completely removed their mask mandates and literally people were dancing in the street for weeks.
That's it, yeah.
Just like huge crowds of
Dancing in
people
the
moving
street.
along the streets, just dancing and partying. So I wonder what it's going to be like here in Perth when that happens, when like the mandates are fully gone, the mask mandates, everything, and we can go back to full send again.
Well, I think we're a bit too small almost compared to like UK or something like that. Like
2.5 million people. I think we're in the top 80 cities in the world in terms of population size. So
yeah, it'll be
a
interesting.
little baby here. It's like a little town.
a little town. Do you know how many cities there are in the world? Just question.
No.
I know because I looked this
9.
up before I came. There are 4,700 roughly cities in the world,
We're 80.
and we're 80.
Not bad.
So
That's all right.
I think that puts us in the top 5%.
What? That's blown my mind.
It is,
Yeah.
isn't
And
it? Right?
it's clean and it's safe.
I keep telling people in Australia, all the population is centered in like 4 or 5 major cities, like 80% of Australian, right? Whereas like you go to Europe and everyone's in like cities of 100,000, 200,000. Perth's got 2.5 million. So we're not small by any stretch of the imagination, but we still have that, like, Perth's such a small city, like that mentality.
No, you're right. When you put it like that, you're right. Because I'm from a city that is just outside London.
Yep.
The capital. That's why I'm a party person.
Colchester?
No, gosh, no.
What's the capital?
Chelmsford. Chelmsford, darling. Posh part.
I went on exchange in Essex. I went to the University of Colchester.
Very nice in Colchester. It's very oldie. What a castle.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was. The English countryside is beautiful. So.
All right, let's jump back onto the wedding and everything.
yes.
Are you from Perth?
I'm from Perth. I'm actually originally from
Perth as
Bustleton, so.
Respect. I spent the last half of my life in Bustleton.
It's a beautiful place to raise kids.
Full of liberals. It's a beautiful. So I just wanted to take a moment though to appreciate Kelly's outfit.
Would you like to show it off for us?
I would just like to say.
What do you think, everyone? Does she have a big derriere?
We'll do that again to finish off with a bang.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
And my outfit.
yeah, come on, let's see your shoes.
Okay, so
Very sparkly.
how to be the best wedding DJ in Perth. First of all, buy shoes that no one else
Like them.
has
Well,
or knows where to get. Yes. Also combine sequins with animal print and rainbows
well, this
wherever you
beautiful hat.
can.
Rainbow.
And that's about it. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, and you have to have some like very flamboyant earrings as well. Like
Yeah.
just
Flamboyant.
I
yes.
would just like to point out that I'm an excellent dancer because I have minions of toes.
Oh no.
It's good, you know.
Amazing. Can we talk about a burning question that I just got
Of course, yeah.
from the audience? Why are wedding DJs so expensive? Have you heard that question before?
No, I haven't
Some
actually.
people just like complaining about spending money, don't they? They want to have the best party, but they want to do it as cheaply as possible. And
Well,
I'm like, hey,
Yeah, that's
ho.
like me.
That
I'm
is-
the biggest tight ass there is. I feel sorry for people planning a party. It's expensive to look this cheap. You know
That
what
is
I mean?
something I've always wondered though, because it's like the average nightclub or pub DJ. So you don't get paid anywhere near compared to a wedding. But then I have also seen that from doing weddings, like in my own experience, it's like you're there for like 8 hours, 12, 10 hours
Big
kind
day.
of thing.
It's
a huge
exhausting.
day, yeah. Which I mean,
Also, when was the last time a pub DJ had a setup? Oh, now that I'm talking about that, I'm thinking of the original Pioneer decks that are not cheap at all.
yeah.
But it scares me, the value of equipment that I have to have. So I think we all have about 3 different setups, like small, medium, large. And you can't just be like rock up and say you've forgotten your cord. You can't just
Yeah, of course, no way. No.
if the power goes out, you need a backup speaker because the party should not end just because the power's gone out. So there's a lot of insurance risk aspect to being mobile and carrying all your shit with you. Yeah.
My biggest setup takes 2 people, an hour and a half to set up.
Really?
And so you imagine putting that down at the end of so, you know, it's not a small little
Do you have
in and out.
multiple crews, or are you literally just hitting one party after another?
It's just me and Mr. Glennie Bean.
And that is
We did have
that's
people
impressive.
working for us, but in this industry, it's actually quite tricky to get reliable, because on the weekend, most people want to be at the party, not hosting the
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also the thing, because I've done a few events myself, obviously not to a professional level, but when you get your friends involved to help you with party setups and stuff like that, they've got this sort of duality where you kind of want them to be professional and work, but also they're not getting paid, so they're kind of at the party too. And then by the end of the night, you've got no one managing the party. It's just become one giant thing, and then got this hectic cleanup that you have to work through and stuff like that.
Why aren't they getting paid? Because it's a event starting
it's a
out?
free event. Yeah,
Free event.
no one's getting paid. The DJs aren't getting paid. The event planner's not getting paid. So it's a situation where everybody has to help out, but also wants to be at the party as well.
Why is it a free event? Whose party is this?
Well,
Is it legal?
His party.
It's not legal, is it?
have you heard of Soon? Have you heard of Soon at all?
No.
No.
I have.
Well, that's fine. It's essentially how do I say this without getting myself in
Underground.
trouble? It's an underground collective
Oh, I love
of
it.
people. Yeah. So
Is
you
it
can't.
like a bush stuff?
No,
It's better than a bush.
But
dog.
not in the
Oh,
better than a bush job.
I like to consider us more in the rave scene than the doof scene, and I
Oh,
like to
there.
separate the two. Yeah.
yeah.
So we do things that like we will take a generator and our setup, which all fits neatly into a van, and we'll head to random locations and send the location out the night before and stuff like that. But it is a big, it's a big setup. There's like subwoofers and speakers and lights and,
Yep.
and all this. You want to put the camera on me?
Yeah, well, when you chat, put the camera on you.
So there's all this stuff that you have to do, but you can't charge people because you're not paying for the venue and it's illegal. So
Better
Illegal.
not.
yeah, it's you've got to do it for free.
Fly
So
under
we
the
do
radar.
events where we fundraise.
I get that. Now I get it.
Yeah,
And
but-
it's worth
yeah.
millions.
So you,
To the soul.
if you're paying someone, you
Yeah.
expect them to work, right? They're not
Yeah.
at the party; they're being paid. But you can't really expect that of somebody who you're not paying. So when you have those people helping you with your events, then you like this is where we're talking about how much you have to pay for these. For a DJ. A wedding DJ, a private DJ who has all their own gear and has to pay, an assistant or two to help set up. This is why they're so expensive versus a club DJ who literally just has to walk in with a USB and some headphones. So that's the difference there that we're talking about when it comes to private DJ versus a commercial DJ.
I wanted to ask as well. So Emma, like, how long would it take for you to do a setup? And like you said, you've got like a big, medium, small kind of setup. What's involved in your setup?
So
Like just for certain gigs or different events and stuff.
What can people
Yeah.
expect if they're getting the small, medium, large package?
yes. So okay, tricky. It's when it's a event that needs to look good that you and be safe. So weddings, big parties at venues, things like that. you guys know yourself, you need to make it sound amazing. Otherwise, you can have all the fancy things and make it look good, but if it doesn't sound good, or if
no good,
you know, like there's just so many things you learn from experience, like how to set up a speaker stand so that it's not blasting someone's face off.
Yeah.
Because we think that like the speakers should always be here, because in the pub and the club they're on the ground and they're in front of you, but no, they should actually be up above you.
That's why
sound
speaker
good.
stands exist.
Well, see,
But the average speaker stand is only this high.
Yeah.
You actually need to
elevate.
so one thing that blows me away is there's a bar called the Peach Pit in Scarborough, right? And so in Scarborough, they've actually got you've got the DJ booth right here, and you have two 15-inch PA speakers facing the crowd,
blasting.
just like that.
I've been in there.
Yeah, and
I've
it's
been in there.
so loud.
Yeah.
Like,
And I yell when I talk because
you
I've
have to
spent
sometimes, yeah.
a lot of years with even the fallback. I get rid of the fallback. Like, who cares? I know all my levels are right. I don't need a fallback blasting at me for 5. That's the other thing. A wedding's 5 or 6 hours. You don't want a speaker in your face. I'm going to be deaf in a year or two.
Ear protection is important in the music industry.
It is, yeah.
Very.
I'm a culprit of that, where I play at a place called Scarborough Beach Bar, and I actually have the fallback like right there for 6 hours a night.
And it's vibration as well. You'll notice your head at the end of the night. And you don't want your customers to feel that. You want them to feel a little bit of a headache, but not to the point where they're ringing.
That's it, blasted away kind of thing.
That's like the old days. It's good for that. But so yeah, safety. And you don't realize this until you're a business where people expect things of you. So they expect that if you rock up in a venue, you've got public liability for something that goes really wrong. And that's why I went down the whole route of trying to have other people work for me, and then in the end, it's just easier being in control of your own thing and knowing the quality that you're putting out. Because in any business, like, you're trusting someone else and you've got staff.
With your baby.
That's more stress.
Yeah.
So why have more stress?
It's actually an interesting conversation that I've been having with a few people, especially people who are emerging in the industry. They put all their eggs in so many different baskets. Like, I want to do a label company. I want to start an events company. I want to do lighting. Yep. I also want to DJ. It's like, whoa, calm down. Like,
takes time.
If you're good at everything, you're a master of nothing.
Yeah.
Right. And you want to be good at something, or maybe 2 things, but don't overexert yourself.
That's it.
So when it comes to running a business, how are you dividing up these roles, and how do you know, like, that you can palm something off, whereas what's something that you can't, like, that you just have to do yourself because you know no one else can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good luck trying to replicate that.
Yeah.
Can't get anybody to do this. Everybody wants to be a princess or a fairy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be the clown, and I don't know why.
Alex
I'm
wants to
having
be
a
a
great
princess.
time.
He told me.
I've got some sparkles for you guys.
Oh, really?
Sparkle, very manly green and
Nice.
very beastly blue.
Am I going to get sparkled up during? Oh wow, okay.
Why don't we did you bring them with you?
I did.
Why don't you sparkle Alex up now? We'll give him a little makeover.
Sparkle Alex while I talk about important business things.
You talk about important stuff, and I'll just make everybody look pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, so Instagram
Yeah, how important is
the
the social
bane
media?
of all things, because followers do not equal money, my friends.
No.
Followers equal people that are never going to pay you, probably, and just want to follow you, which is cool.
So with your social media, did you have to do like any courses, or did you just like learn it yourself, or?
I think you're always learning that stuff, hey.
You're crawling through there.
She's gone underground.
Oh my gosh.
She fits right in here.
All right, here we go. I'm going to get sparkled up in this episode. So- okay.
Gorgeous.
I love this shirt.
It's actually not your shirt. That's why I got them. When I was 6, I was sharing, but
So
now I'm 9.
with your social media then, so how long have you been, like, when did you create it all in a way to be able to, for your business and stuff? Like, how long has your business been running for in total? The 5 years?
5
or?
years. And
Okay.
I feel like that's when you have a moment where like if you've been living off your
Thank you.
business, you can kind of choose to go harder and niche down on what you do already, or you can choose to try and expand and put, like the eggs in all the baskets.
Okay.
And I think because the market is quite saturated with DJs, I think you should focus on what brought you back. Bring yourself back to your original,
your roots kind of thing.
So your passion, bring yourself back to the passion, but do the thing that also brings in.
Did you have a moment like that where you were sort of like grasping at a lot of different straws and you had to pull yourself back and say, I should focus on this one thing? Or have you always just been driven for that one goal?
COVID stuffed up everything.
Yep.
Because I was half in the pubs doing cheap karaoke nights, dirty, stinky, like germy karaoke. And then COVID really, when germs used to be like, give your kids some germs and it'll help them. It's like, no, you can't give anyone germs anymore. So karaoke's cancelled forever.
You should try a school disco.
Except privately.
Nobody wants to sing with a
100 kids going,
yeah, so that got rid of that. And so sometimes you have to just go with the market, go with what's paying you, sell your soul. But not too much. Don't sell it too much. But
the thing is, as long as you enjoy it at the end of the day, that's what makes it worth it, right? Because don't do that's what they always say, don't do anything that you don't enjoy doing, because then it feels like a proper,
most people
a bad job almost.
In spring,
aren't
they? They wake up and they go to work and they do the same thing over
That's
and
it.
over
If we're going
and
to
over
talk like
again.
collective in a way, imagine,
We are very fortunate people.
I've got a few friends who, do desk jobs, but I really feel their pain sometimes. So it's just like, it's the same thing day in, day out. They, they get different tasks and they do this and do that, but it's always in the same cubicle doing that kind of job in a way. But then it's like for us, we go to different locations, we do this, we do that, and we just get to meet so many people and experience so many different things.
I don't know if you've noticed, but at a party, most people are quite happy.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, we're at a party. So yeah, usually my folk are whoop whoop whoop.
I like describing a party like a gym. We go to the gym to work our bodies out, to make sure our bodies are healthy.
Yeah.
We go to a party to work our minds out, to make sure our minds are healthy.
That is true, yeah.
Does it make sense?
I'm also stomping.
Except
on the
I don't go to the
dance
gym.
Yes. Because when I finish a party, I feel physically tired, obviously, because I've been dancing, but I also feel mentally drained as well. I've been talking to people for 8 straight hours, been laughing, I've been my brain's been working overtime because of all the, visual stimuli that's happening around me. So it really is like a mental workout. Say?
Have you ever heard the term funeral?
Funeral?
No.
So instead of funeral, have a funeral.
What, the end of fun?
And yeah, so you can prepay your funeral. So you could start putting down $10 a week so that you have the funeral of your dreams, or the funeral. And think about it, you're not there, so you might as well let everyone else have a good time and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I say fluoro.
Fluoro.
No black fluoro.
Yes.
Funding other people's fun
Yeah, exactly.
at your death and your expense.
Yeah.
It sounds weird when you put it that way.
Fireworks. Fireworks. Woo!
Fireworks at a funeral.
Sparkles on the coffin or something.
Yeah.
No, cremate me and turn me into the fireworks.
Fireworks. Oh, that's
Have you ever worked with fireworks before?
I do fireworks. I do cold fireworks. So
Cold
they
fireworks.
shouldn't light things on fire.
Yep.
But they
Sense.
can.
And yep.
So they're, again, with a little bit of cost. We
What's the
have to be
difference-
insured. Make sure that people are insured if they're playing with fire.
What's the difference between cold fireworks and no? I've never heard of cold fireworks before.
So it's a really expensive combustion material that just goes up and
Looks pretty.
yeah, and you get about 3 or 4 minutes of good spark time out of about $150 worth of material.
Okay, wow.
So
those things. Okay.
yeah,
I've seen them before.
Yes. Now you're cooking.
they're
thought-
really cool as a surprise. So a few people are starting to see that if there's a small lighting box maybe on the dance floor, that maybe they're going to be fireworks, but a lot of people still have never seen them, and they're so cool. They do bring something extra to any event.
You do fog?
Not that heavy fog.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that looks like
mists
clouds.
all the dance floor
Yeah,
up. No,
yeah.
I've got bubble machine.
Yeah.
bubble.
So for people who don't know, and only because I know the difference, there's smoke machines and fog machines, or hazers.
Yes.
And hazers will leave that thick, dense fog that hugs the ground as a hazer, and then a smoke machine will obviously dissipate it into.
I've got a big commercial smoke machine, but personally, I love that.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a fan of the haze as well, I say.
Well, we should get some for some of the events. So.
Oh, we've got a hazer for soon, yeah.
Okay.
Got a big one. Big boy.
Green suits you. Got over there.
He's
got green too.
Well. My eyes are green.
Well,
so I think
I was going to say,
Manly
it's
green.
his birthday.
Oh.
It's his birthday. You should paint his face more.
Is it? I've got extra.
Yeah. Let's doll you up.
Thanks, Alex.
So
Fluoro rainbow.
back onto the social media and everything like that. So how do people approach you? Do they just message your page, your Instagram page, or your Facebook, or
No,
do they go on the website? Or
and I'm really sorry to anyone who I've forgotten to respond to. I like having little chats, but unfortunately, it just gets lost. So, I feel like you have to have a website these days if you're a real business.
do you find the communication better through emails as well, and then like potentially a phone call instead of just because I'm always the same when someone instant messages me on Facebook and like, hey, are you free for this gig? It's kind of like in a face-to-face meeting is so much better because it's all a phone call because you can actually like verbalize and you can hear how they're talking in a way. Because
and think about yourself. If you're going to purchase or hire something that you can't do yourself, think about the steps that you like going down. Some people hate the phone, but the phone gets stuff done much faster.
Yep.
Than
10 million emails. 10 million emails.
yeah. Back and forth.
I think nobody would be upset if emails just disappeared off the face of the earth.
They're good. They're handy. But if you have a conversation with somebody and you write stuff down and you can engage and connect with who they are, which is what it's really all about, isn't it? About connection, especially in the wedding.
And what about the old days when you used to hand in a job resume to get a job?
Ew.
But traditionally, if you walked into a pub, you'd get a job that day, you know, and same with DJing. You can be there at the right time in the right moment with the right person, and you've approached them off your own back. Well, you're already stepping ahead of...
Well, nowadays you might be able to go to a bar or pub and just walk straight in.
At the moment.
We've got a bit of a shortage of staff thanks to the borders being closed for so long. But
that's it.
Yeah.
Can we just put the camera on you, Mitch? Look how amazing you are.
So I'd just like everybody to know that these rainbows glow in the dark.
Oh, really?
Well, you need your special lights. I've got special disco lights.
A UV paint?
I've got UV lights.
Very
Sparkly
nice.
lights and disco lights and all the lights. And they glow. So you are now a rave glow in the dark.
I'm a rave goblin.
Oh, I like it.
That is my alter ego, is being a rave goblin. So
what would you look like in a Spider-Man outfit? That's what I need to know.
Yes, please.
a very fat Spider-Man.
Batman.
So you wrote a few questions before we started, but I was going to ask, like, one of those questions was like, so how would you go about throwing, like, you know, what makes an event spectacular in your opinion?
Oh, this is so hard because I've just started planning my own 40th. And it's so much harder doing it for yourself than someone else. So, number one, get an event planner.
Really?
Yeah. Because why do you want to be running around coordinating stuff at your own event?
I did my wedding. I organised it in 25 minutes, and everybody said it was the best wedding they've been to.
My gosh.
I had Brazilian drummers, hot Brazilian dancers, pretty much naked in the garden, dancing around. I had a singer singing love songs. I had a mermaid in the pool, Spider-Man. Who else was there? Oh, and a drag queen doing a drag show.
Of course.
Wow.
So, and really good food. Food was yummy. Everybody bought it, and
it was all in 25 minutes.
I sat there.
How many people?
About 60. Very nice.
All right.
I'm from the UK. I don't know that many years, but it's hard. You're doing this all the time.
I mean, it's the constant grind when you're in this industry is networking.
I know you
Constantly.
hate that word. They need to change that word.
It's got negative connotations associated with it now, doesn't it?
Networking. Making friends, but then are they really your friends?
Yeah.
Or their acquaintances.
We are buddies.
Well, I also think the word friend has been tainted a bit too with the advent of Facebook and social media.
That's it, yeah.
Like, what does the word friend mean nowadays compared to what, like, if you called someone a friend 30 years ago, it meant a bit more than calling someone a friend now, right?
All true friendship is about honesty, and not just being
vulnerability.
I guess that's what separates a friend from a best friend, rather than an acquaintance from a friend.
Yeah. Got celebrity.
I'll shut up now.
Very deep.
All right, so get an event planner. That's my advice.
Yeah.
I disagree.
What do you believe? Okay, don't get an event planner over there. What do you believe creates an epic event?
An epic event. Just being able to hire the right kind of people in a way, like if depending on the event. So if like my 30th's coming up, and so my 30th birthday, like I've thought about it. I'm gonna get like a few mates to like, I don't know, maybe dress up and do, just do something that will make it memorable, interactive and memorable in a way.
Need a clown.
Yeah,
I've often heard the phrase. What's the phrase? It's called when you have a
like for
a selling point. What is it called?
Unique selling point.
Yeah, like a unique hook or a
for example, like in 2 weeks I'm throwing an Easter party, and I know it's a bit late for an Easter party, but it's back when I'm back here kind of thing from mines and stuff. But with that party, to be able to make it unique, is I've got a spinning prize wheel. So as soon as you rock up, you have to spin that wheel, and it'll have all sorts of like just fun drinking kind of stuff on there, or like free drinks or this or that. I've got a friend who it's quite funny. He's a labourer, so he's actually like pretty ripped. If he's watching, Damo, who's my other camera guy.
Shout out to Damo.
He's always a ripped Damo, by the way.
It's gonna be quite funny because I did this a couple of years ago, but he just had bunny ears on, an apron, and he was in his undies, right? And he was just handing out food. So with that, the girls absolutely loved it. So he's doing that again. We're going to set up maybe it might be a little bit cold, but I'm thinking about setting up a small little pool. We're going to have beer pong and drinking games and just stuff to be able to keep people involved.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. When it comes to an event and stuff like that, you got to have things that keep you entertained and keep your attention almost.
So that's my belief. So it's all about, keeping people busy, having stuff happening. You don't want people just hanging around bored. And I think a lot of time at weddings, there's a bit of a gap where there's nothing happening. And people, what do? They get wasted.
That's exactly
because there's nothing to do. So for me, when I organise, I have lots of stuff happening. That stimulation.
And that's my biggest irk with the industry is that, well, mainly with the commercial industry, not so much with the private industry, obviously, because private industry, you're tailoring it for your client. But when I go out to a bar or a nightclub, there's a dance floor and a bar, and then there's like really, really cramped smoking area that everybody stuffs into. Half the club is in the smoking area. Anyway, but there's nothing else there. It's music, dance floor, and a bar, and there's nothing else. And every bar and every club has that. So to me, it's like there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no movement towards trying to do something different and to bring someone else in. So,
well, there's a really good book called The Art of Gathering, and it brings you back to what is your mission and who is attending and how do you make them feel like they're part of it and in control rather than
try and find that book.
Just plebs paying $30 and to just spend another $100 at the bar. Like, how do you make people...
What was that book called again?
The Art of Gathering.
I suppose that's what festivals are about, isn't it? That's where the festival came in. Let's have a big wheel over here, dance tent over. Lots of different things happening.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a book by Priya Parker.
Yeah.
Just for the audience, if they're interested in reading that book.
Yes.
Okay, so
there are easy ways to create fun. You don't have to spend a fortune to create fun.
That's it.
And I have to differ with that. There has to be something happening all the time. Because when it's something like, even though there are parts of weddings that may be a little bit lower vibe, they're an opportunity for people that you haven't seen in years to actually talk. And when I see that happening, I'm not going to force myself on that crowd, So it's a little bit
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Because that's when the love and the energy starts to rise.
That's exactly it.
Gosh, yeah.
Bond.
Yeah. And so how often do you get to do that with like beautiful food and wine and dressed your best and without any forced expectations as well. So, but I'll share a little fun thing that I saw recently with someone who was really overwhelmed with planning their 50th, and she wanted to do a lot of things, and then she ended up just paring it back. And the way she got her crowd involved was literally to say, everyone dress in black and white, and she surprised them by turning up in gold sparkles. And so it wasn't a huge thing, but it was like everyone got to participate. It wasn't a pressure of let's dress in fancy dress, but it was just a let's be part of making this, setting the scene, and then the rest is organic. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be huge and expensive to be fun. Saying that, I'm pretty huge and expensive, so
I agree. And for advice for like anybody who's looking to be an event planner is to set a vibe. You don't necessarily need to spend all this money on set dressings and things like that. You can get your audience involved, you know, with theming, but also in the way that they dress. And the events that we do at Soon, because it's invite only, it's a very curated crowd, and they always come in their best dressed, and that adds to the vibe of the event too. And that's free.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
You don't have to do anything, and they're bringing part of the party as well, just because they're dressed in a way that's, you know, flamboyant.
Controversial.
And,
How do you decide who's invited and who's not invited?
It's a vouch system.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a private group, and you get invited to the private group. And if you're in the group, you can invite other people, but you have to vouch for them. So if they stuff up, then it comes back to you.
No twats
if that makes
allowed.
sense. So everyone's friends with everybody, and everyone is on their best behavior because everyone knows everyone.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you can also control your guests and curate them for your event as well, because you don't want people coming who don't fit the vibe that you're putting on.
That's exactly.
They're only going to bring the vibe down for everyone else, right?
Yes. Haven't we all been to those parties? as
Exactly,
well? And
right.
they're not fun, are they?
Those one or two dickheads that just get in the way and ruin it for everybody else. And you can curate your event to avoid that if you want. So, and that's free.
This is what I learned working in pubs. You can't actually predict who's going to be the twat at the end of the night, because anyone can be great at the start and then it can all go so downhill. And age is not a determiner. I want to stick up for the young people and say that it's not just the young ones that act up.
Yeah, it can be
There's
anyone.
some hideous behaviour I've seen.
Well, that's the thing. It comes with partying because you've got alcohol.
That's exactly
and
what I was
nicotine, and depending on what, you know, place you're going to, there might be drugs as well involved. So there's a certain risk involved with the party, but like I said, there are ways that you can plan around that and make the event successful by curating your audience.
I have to say, I've been very fortunate. All of the grown-up parties that I've done and any of the weddings I've done, just wasted. There's been no bad behaviour.
Angry wasted.
Yeah, I've heard of absolute horror stories.
Yeah,
but
I've got a story.
I do a event, there's always two of us. So one will be DJing and I will be generally after people. So we will do the sparkle week, and you would think that grown-ups wouldn't particularly like that, but once people start getting a little bit, they're like, more, and before you know it, at the end of the night, the lights go on, covered.
Completely.
And I love it.
Bedazzled, bejeweled.
We take about 2-3 grand's worth of dress-ups as well, so other accessories. So they kind of, we've got wigs, all different colours, and allowed to dance with.
Well, that's good, because that's another important part of creating an event that is different from just the usual servings.
You
And
find
remember-
Interaction,
when people get dressed up, the barriers get broken
That's
Yeah.
and
true.
people let go and they become childlike, and they my world out.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye.
Cool. So how,
Yeah.
I'm going to take over from Alex.
Yeah, yep.
If you were going to have your event, which you're having very soon, your 30th, and I'm having my 40th, I've already kind of asked you to DJ for free, which is number one. Don't ever ask anyone to DJ for free.
Cheeky woman.
Never. No, so how would you choose your DJ?
So
Pick you.
What would you consider? Yeah, I'd pick you.
Mm.
But how would you go about choosing them? Say, okay, if it's the most important event of your life, whether it's your 40th, your divorce party, or your wedding.
See, for me, I would be very, very picky because, like, if it's hard to explain, but since I've been doing it for 10 years and, like, I've gotten to a point where, like, I just listen to so much different music, but I just like the way it's mixed, the way it's put together, the way everything about it. It would be very hard. I'd probably, to be honest, I would probably curate the music myself. Because in that way, I
that's
know
the thing,
what's
like,
going
that's
on.
perfect because you're going to get the music that you love, the way you love it played at your party.
Exactly.
Your party is all about you being.
If Alex had it his way, he'd just DJ the whole night.
Yeah, all that.
Well, he's having a good time. He's doing what he loves.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Save it for your birthday, Alex.
So what about you, Emma, then?
Well, that's the thing. If I was going to choose, would I get myself to DJ? Probably not. Like I said, I'm more conscious of everyone else having a good time, even if I'm not. But the coolest thing I saw recently was no pop music and sticking to the directive. So I did a wedding for someone who says, you know how people want different, but there's only so different you can go with weddings. Well, this was great because every time someone requested a pop song, the bride would come storming up. She's like, turn this off.
Really?
Turn it off now. Yes. And I'd just be like, bride said no. Bam.
Yeah.
And it was great. But, you know, you just have to go on the edge then. Don't play a mainstream pop song, but play kind of something that people might know, like some punk or some new romantic music or... Yeah, so...
That's where it gets tricky, isn't it?
That's
so
it.
At a wedding, the more drunk people get, the more they think they have the right to come and force their music choice on you. And you're like, well, actually, I'm here for everybody but the bride and groom, and I know what they want.
Yeah.
So Roy Orbison isn't really acceptable right now.
That's it. I've actually done a wedding before where the sister of the bride, she actually wrote out her present to the bride was front and back piece of A4 paper, 200 songs in list. So I was kind of like, I didn't say anything, but I was thinking to myself, why did you hire a DJ if this is exactly what I have to play one after the other, 200 songs like in order? And I was kind of like,
bit soul destroyed.
Yeah, I was just like, you could just put Spotify on, like, make a playlist.
More soul destroying.
Don't downplay your skills in pressing those buttons, Alex.
More soul destroying than that is setting all your DJ gear up and DJ turning up.
I've never had that before.
I have had that happen.
Really?
It was because two men arranged one woman's 40th birthday.
Get a planner.
And they both hired
A
DJs.
Wow. So did you do the party or did the other
We both did it, and I shared. So we did lots of entertaining, which is what we did, and we had a
You're
really
not good at sharing.
I'm not used to sharing, but I behave.
Typical event planner
And she
mentality.
had
Anyone gets in the way, like, get out.
She had the biggest speakers. That was what
we had all the disco lights,
Yep.
huge stands, and some bobs, and yeah.
Wow.
So it was awkward.
That would be very...
Well, that would have been good marketing for you because,
Yeah.
like, you were put next to somebody who was pretty mediocre, and that would have given you an extra boost, right? Hopefully, you got 5 stars for that one.
Of course, I always get 5 stars, my friend. Yeah, I provide very good service.
Very good.
So have you got a Google page? Is this a Google page that you're getting 5 stars on, or a Facebook page?
So how I've built my business is we built a website, and we got about 255-star Google reviews.
And then do
That's a lot.
you have a Google page? Well, a website.
I got
but then-
Google. Yeah.
Google
So
business.
You've
isn't
got
it?
5 stars on Facebook with 81 reviews, so
Wait.
That's a
Can't
lot
complain
of
about that.
reviews.
for Facebook, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that is
that's
good.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
And so then can we try this? So like look up DJ Emma on Google, right? And then it should pop up.
Yeah.
What am I looking for? Your website?
My reviews on Google.
Reviews on
DJ.
I
Google
don't think
stuff.
there's many. You have to actually send people the link.
Yeah.
Oh.
5 stars with 23
How did you
ratings?
go about making your website for both of you as well? Did you pay someone else, or do you learn?
Websites
Very
are
nice.
expensive.
They are, yeah. And like
Yeah.
the yearly cost and everything that goes along with it. That's why, like, if you can make it yourself, it's so much better. But at the same time, it's still like
so this is some of the stuff of having your own business is, learn so many things. And one thing I have learned is how to do this on the computer and, jazz up the website. Because when you have a website, you have to constantly add little bits and change little bits and rewrite things.
Yeah.
And Google likes that.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's time consuming.
And that's what I was going to say, because like your website, Emma, it's really professional when you send it to me.
I did. So, but I did
Can you pull it up, Mitch? Like it's pretty professional. Like it's really good.
What's the URL, Emma?
djemma.com.au. I had 9 months to do it because I was making a baby.
Oh.
So that's how I had the time to start that.
Little course or
No, you just get on there. Everyone tells you not to use certain programs, but just find one that works for you.
Is this the one you sent me? I thought the one you sent me was a white background. And it had like a...
Oh, have I changed it? Go to...
Because you sent me like one where there was like photos of the weddings and they were like sliding. This is still pretty cool though.
Yeah, no, this is really good. I like this.
Oh, you played at the ship in? Very nice.
Oh, and the Pullman.
I need to update that.
I want to see if I can... Because you sent me that and I was like,
what did
wow.
I send you?
I really
Gosh.
like that. I think I looked at something as well. This is new. Jazzed it up.
Where
Maybe.
is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. You're always
Oh,
maintaining
you sent me the Odor magazine?
Oh, Theodore.
Yeah, the Theodore. Yeah,
Okay,
Theodore.
so that's when you start playing with the big boys. When
Hey,
you
Dallas
pay-
Dixon.
Yeah, when you pay to be on someone else's website.
Can you pull up that,
It's
Mitch?
very expensive.
My Facebook should be logged in. If you go on Emma's private message, then you can scroll up, and then it's the Theodore. Because I was just like, wow.
That's pretty. Hey,
Yeah.
so that is
That's pretty as well.
that's a magazine dedicated to LGBTIQA plus weddings.
Okay.
So that is. It used to be called Mr. Theodore, and then they realized that's just about gay men. So they've tried to make it more inclusive. So, but they cost a fortune to advertise, and that's okay if I reach the right people, and it looks beautiful, and
I'm loving this.
if that's where people are shopping, then that's fine. But it comes back to don't spread yourself. Don't go and spend 10 grand on advertising if,
Ooh,
play it by ear. Play it by ear. That's the thing. When you're in business, it pays to be a tight ass. Like,
What about
but
reputation?
it does cost time though. Time is something that,
You're also a celebrant as well.
yes.
There you go. You're the full package.
Celebrant is so much fun.
Professionally trained MC, full-time wedding DJ, authorised marriage celebrant, Sparktaculars,
Yeah, they're those cold fireworks.
cold fireworks, wedding karaoke service. Yes, it's a thing.
And yeah, because that's one thing that intrigued me. So the LGBTQIA plus event planner since
LGBTIQA
2001.
Yes.
So you've been doing it for a long time then.
I've been doing it for a long time. The first person who trained me as a DJ was DJ Luscious Leah. Old goths alternative scene in Perth would know Luscious Leah. She was like the only female DJ at Amplifier. Is Amplifier still around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very alternative, very fun. That's where all the bands played. And so luckily I got to train under her.
That's pretty cool. Like
And-
old school amplifier, 2001.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
it's 21 years ago.
Yeah.
It's forever
I'm
ago.
old.
2001.
Yeah.
I would have been 6 years old.
I was at
Six.
18, 19.
18, yeah.
Thank you.
Mitch, would you be able to open the
I can't
or not?
because it's daylight, and if I open the door, that just light will sink in, and
okay.
it'll be too.
Yeah.
The cameras won't work.
No, that's all right.
We've only got
No, we'll do
5 minutes left.
We'll do 15 because we just started dabbling into this. So very nice.
Just had a makeup break. Don't worry about that, guys.
Yeah.
Sparkle's
spruce
making
up.
everything better.
And so then, how would that differ from other events and stuff like that in a way? If you kind of get what I'm saying.
The which one?
So the LGBTQI.
Yes. Okay. So when I've run events before in the queer community, you come up with all kinds of things trying to put an event on in a venue, for example. So you might come to a venue and it's actually the law in WA that if you're a boy, you have to go in the boys' toilets. Oh, if you want to sell alcohol, you have to have a boys' toilets and a girls' toilets. So beginning, like as soon as someone walks in the venue and tries to find the bathroom, if your gender doesn't match your appearance, you can get all kinds of abuse. And trying to help get venues to, so look, we just end up putting a sign on the disabled toilet saying this is the bathroom because it's open to everyone. And it just comes back to those really harmful myths that like you're going to get men in the women's toilets and women in the men's toilets and it's going to be outrageous.
I'm guessing if you're putting on an LGBT event like, you're not going to get people there that are going to get
grumpy.
And
grumpy by seeing somebody who they don't think is their gender in their toilet.
Well, you would think so, but as the event planner, who's responsible for creating that safe space? So the venue, they'll say they're inclusive until it comes down to, you know, who we let in.
Until you get a Karen.
Whose ID matches their appearance in a way. Like sometimes that's a tricky one. Like if your name is a boy's name and you don't present as a boy, well then you might get questioned as you're coming in.
Okay.
Not to mention just average like homophobic harassment. Like your performers will get accosted on the way in and out. I mean, we even get that. That's a huge thing with like the fringe festivals and stuff. If you look different, you're coming to a gig, coming from a gig. It is a safety concern sometimes.
Honestly, I've never understood why people make it their issue that somebody else is dressed in whatever way or is presenting. It's like it doesn't affect you at all.
That's it, yeah.
Why does he have to make it a big thing?
Yeah, that's it. It shouldn't. If it's, you know, it has nothing to do with you. It's their own personal choice to do whatever they want to do. So,
but it's not until you get into the nitty gritty where you find if a venue or a punter is actually an ally or, you know, is actually inclusive, or they just say they are because it's you know, you just have to be. You're not allowed to be homophobic, but if your policies aren't inclusive, well then you're not inclusive.
Just quickly want to do a shout out to Lucy Cook. Hi, DJ Emma.
Hey, Mom.
That was your mother.
Yeah. And also shout out to the other incredible wedding DJ in Perth, DJ Betty Bloom.
Oh, she's
our little, I think she, and also one of the best MCs in Perth. So you should definitely check her out.
DJ Betty Bloom.
Yes. She's really not great at self-promotion. So, you know.
I'll give her some now.
Awesome human being.
Yeah.
Very good.
And she'll take care of your entire event. She's very experienced. And for the young ones, I would like to also plug how you can get some experience in our industry, because that's like the hardest thing. You need to be experienced to be good, but how do you get experience? And when I started out, I would ask people whose businesses I admired to come along and just roadie for them and lift stuff. I don't care what it is, like press a button. But if someone offered to come and help me, I'd say, yes, please, hit me up. So yeah, that's, I don't believe in free labor, but if you're literally just starting out, yeah, sure. Yeah. But everyone else pay them for their time.
And you said fringe shows. So how have you been involved with fringe?
Oh yeah, so I ran a queer party in Perth for 3 years, and we did do it at Fringe once. It was called the Glory Republic, and it was all about sort of flipping.
Is it on Facebook? I hope we can pull it up.
Oh, I don't know if the page is still there actually, but we had performers from all over, and we prioritized non-gender conforming, non-white,
Here's an Express Mag article on it.
It was a while ago. Oh, my DJ name used to be Scissorfist. That's right.
Scissorfist.
Wow.
You probably heard of me overseas.
Well, thank you, SAE, for that.
I'm very big over that. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, so it was a tiny, tiny party, and unfortunately, another rule is never DJ at your own event that you've planned, because it's just too much to handle. And so without a full planning crew, the event just fizzled as soon as I moved away.
Lucy says, what about your daddy's free labour, DJ Emma?
He's only got one leg. I mean,
Is your mum chewing you out on that? Is that what's going on here?
He's only half a decent roadie. But yeah, he was pretty cheap actually. So
thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Thank you is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Okay. So the Fringe show you did for 3 years then?
Yes. So the Glory Republic, I would now say that if you're looking for alternative queer events, you would go to either the Snatch Party for girls or the Dallas Dixon's party at Badlands.
Yeah, and Lucy's Love Shack, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So follow them.
Lucy's, Badlands.
Yeah.
I know
Shout out to-
Court's very LGBT friendly.
Yeah.
Court has
Connections nightclub.
Court's
I think
changed a bit now.
Court has some shady past, but we won't go into it.
yeah.
yeah.
Connections is still somewhat. I mean, they've been around forever. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly it.
And I think Magnet House is making an effort now as well to snuggle up
Ooh.
with the LGBT
Ooh.
community. So it's definitely
Night
growing
out,
in
won't
Perth.
we?
Yeah, we will.
Insane.
It's always confused me though, and it's one of those questions that you kind of don't want to ask just in case you come off in the wrong way. But I've always been confused as to why some events are advertised as LGBTQ like events. I understand there's celebrating your sexuality, but like it also alienates a lot of other people as well. If you understand, like if you're making that the point, point of contention of your event.
Do you have to be queer to attend?
A lot of people, a lot of people don't care. Obviously, they like going to LGBT events because it's very open and free and inviting. And I like that too. I like going to the Court and Connections and stuff like that because it's wild and fun. But some events, it's like it's the main thing. It's about LGBT, and that to me makes me go like, I'm bi, but I don't really belong to this world, and that can be off-putting for the cis people, like the
straighties,
the straighties, whatever you want to call it. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's always such a hot, contentious issue. But what's your opinion on?
Well, first of all, you are part of the queer community, so if that event's not reaching you, then that's a bit sad.
Yeah.
But the other thing is safety, and this is why if you have a no dickhead policy on your wall of your pub or your flyer, are you really enforcing it, and how are you enforcing it? And I think when you call it a queer event, queer positive, body positive, you are saying that you are going to make that space safe. We're going to prioritize the needs of non-straight people, but of course we need our straight allies to come. We just don't want to get harassed, touched, abused.
Yeah, so it's more like letting people who feel a part of that community know that this is a safe event for them.
It's run by and for you, but everyone's welcome because, I think so many places in the past have said, we have a no dickhead policy, and then something happens and they don't follow it up, and there's continual, like, the shit that people don't want to happen is still happening. You know what I mean?
I think it's an important step as well to normalizing LGBTQ is not making it a special thing. It's normal.
It also gets rid of the homophobes.
Yeah.
Oh, what you're saying is it should be to a level where it doesn't matter anymore. We should all have the right.
Yeah, we should get to a point where you don't have to advertise it as an LGBT party. Yeah. Everybody just knows
they're going to be safe. Yeah.
That's like moving towards normalization, right?
Well, the more people like yourself that come out on air, has he done that before? Because I just
I just want to talk about it and move the conversation forward. That's all I'm like.
The more people, and I have to say, the more men who are comfortable coming out as bi, well, then maybe we won't have to be so unusual and different.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah. Rock on with your queer selves.
Kelly Betty also says hi to both of you two ladies.
Let your freak flag fly.
And Jill Whittleton.
Exciting, guys. Thank you so much for having us.
If you're in the chat at the moment, ask any questions you want. We're probably going to be finishing up in the next 10 minutes, so make sure you get your questions in now, and we'll ask them for you.
I have got a date with a pie and somebody's face.
Oh my gosh, we brought secret pies. Did we tell you?
Secret pies?
No, they are actually So I'm meeting him, and we're going off to a little surprise. Hi!
How long do we have? Because I just have a question come in.
Go ahead.
Of course, yeah.
What does an MC do?
Very good question.
So in my opinion, an MC is supposed to like curate the whole event and kind of like, not curate, but like direct in a way, almost, right?
Organize people.
Because like a conductor for an orchestra.
I'm just terrified of MCing, to be honest. Like I can talk and do this, and I've done, 117 episodes of talking like this. But when it comes to actually like going, okay, welcome Mr. and Mrs. and oh my god,
Just
like
practice. It's like anything. It's just practice, and people actually appreciate it. You might get some people that talk over you, but the majority of people want to be directed. They want things to run smooth.
That's exactly it.
You just got to hold your own, threaten them with the pie.
Yep.
Less is more always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get off that mic quick. Just tell them where they need to be. And hot tip, if you're planning a wedding, don't get a member of the wedding party to organise the wedding because they're not going to be there half of the night. And they'll be very busy and very overwhelmed and they may not do the best job. So get your DJ to do it.
Yeah.
And so what would you think an MC does as well? Like, was I kind of on the ball there?
Of course, planning, management, coordination, more so than telling a nice joke to make people laugh or telling a 5-minute story about how they know You can be charismatic and funny without having to come up with like jokes and things in advance. Just keep the night on point, keep it rolling, be ready for any turns and twists. Tell people that they're going to be eating in half an hour.
Very important.
Don't leave them hanging. Don't leave hungry people hanging. You know, just keep it flowing so that the person who's having the party doesn't have to think about it. Pretty much it.
And so what else would go, like, for someone that, that has never been to a wedding before, what else is involved with a wedding? Because, I mean, you've got the DJ, you've got the MC, you've got the bride and the groom, of course, you got the best man and, like, the maid of honor speech and stuff like that. But, like...
Yes. Yeah, there are lots of people who haven't been to a wedding.
Yes, there are. I've been to one wedding in my life.
See, that's what I mean. And I've done 14, 15, but... 14, 15.
Well, you get paid to DJ them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've been to one wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And none other. I obviously know how a wedding goes. I've seen it on TV, but
was it good? Was it bad?
It was my auntie's wedding, and I think I was like 6 years old. So
yeah. Barely remember it then. But then so what actually is involved with the wedding other than getting married?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. A lot of people focus so much on having a good time that they forget about the actual legal part, which is where the celebrant comes in. So sometimes the celebrant doesn't get booked till last, which I find quite funny.
Shocking.
But also, like, that's
very important.
That speaks to the
I thought the celebrant would be one of the, like, top three like important things that you'd want to organise pretty quickly,
Shout out to Lucian as well. Who's
hi, Lucian. Welcome to the chat.
Dropped in.
Let us know if you have any questions about weddings or event planning. Lucian also does his own events as well, so he might have a good question or two for you.
I want to meet more of you fabulous people. That's the thing, when you work every Saturday and Friday night.
It's quite hard to have a social life.
When do you hear good music anymore? So please keep us
We don't really have industry nights here in Perth anymore. We used to have, like, Wednesdays would be the industry nights where everybody
Not even that. Wednesday, we used to have Tuesday nights at Hippie Club as well. Which is backpacker and industry.
But now there's not so much going on.
Monday
I know they try and do
Aberdeen.
some, like, hospitality awards and stuff.
We had a little pool party. We had Emma bought DJ crew.
The daytime is where it's at for me.
Yes.
Even Alex, he's like, can we do this at 2:30? I said, no. I need to get in and out by 2:30.
Pajamas back on.
Yeah, pajamas. Emerge from the house.
That's
not
me after this, basically.
Yeah, Lucian agrees with Tuesdays at the Hippie.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
They were so much fun. And then Monday night, Aberdeen Hotel as well. They were really good.
See, where I'm from in the UK, in Essex, that's what we did. You had Monday night, which everybody knew was jeans and trainers night. And, because where I'm from, it's very glam all the time.
I found it's a very different scene, though, in the UK because you could afford to go out pre-drinking or bar hopping before you went out to an event. Whereas here in Australia, the standard is to
not be drunk when you go out,
or to drink at home beforehand and arrive drunk.
Yeah,
there's so many rules, though, isn't there? I mean, I don't drink because I'm too busy working.
I've stopped drinking as well, but maybe it's just a thing that happens when you get older.
If you are too drunk, they don't let you in a lot of places here, and I don't know if it's changed because I've been here 10 years, but in the UK, we were pretty mangled back in the day.
We used to hide goon bags in our dresses.
Yeah.
Like, good luck trying to find that.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that note.
Yeah.
Can you show us your butt again?
Oh, I've been sitting on it so much.
Yes, your butt does look big in that.
Would rate 10 out of 10.
It's, I don't know.
For you, sir.
It's a bit crushed on one side.
Is it? It's my bubble squish. Because I've been sitting on it for ages. I need to get up and do some stomping. Yeah. There's tunes on.
Let's listen to some music.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for coming on, though. It's been a really good insight.
Can we go on the board of fame?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
We'll get you to sign that
Can
when
you
it's
pull up
over.
the board of fame?
I actually brought some instruments.
This is the board of fame.
Instruments?
Here. You can kind of see.
Look at all those amazing names. Girl London, Birdie Louise, J Dream. People I can only dream of playing alongside one day.
This is only second season one. The other one's over there. Say hello to the group, guys. Hi.
And so you brought some instruments.
So I'm a professional, obviously, and these are my instruments that I play.
That sounds so
I'm
nice.
in the band.
One horn, two horn, three
This takes
horn.
a lot of skill.
We've had some parties at my house, and I have a room full of dress ups and instruments, and yeah, we've had some nights where we've all got the instruments out and the dongly wonglies on, and
I'll need an invite to the next one, I think.
had some good time.
Yes.
All right, ladies, we'll go one at a time. Where can people find you? And just remind people what you do and what your services you're offering for them.
Okay, I am djemma.com.au for your next wedding, party, funeral, or other life celebration.
Pretty.
Celebrant, DJ, MC, and all-round troublemaker.
And have you got anything coming up that you can share with anybody? With
My
us?
40th birthday, everyone's invited.
Yep.
It's in Bunbury, so what else is coming up? Nothing out of the wedding industry for a little while. Yeah, it's pretty
COVID
much
fun.
focused on that. Yeah. Yep. But later on in the year, I'm sure something will come up. Yeah.
Nice. And you?
My
Jelly Kelly?
business is called Perth Party Time. I am the Jelly Kelly. I have wrote shows. One's Jelly Kelly and the Muffins. Very good if you're 5, 6, 7, 8. And I've also got a show called the Tragic Magic Show, which is where I'm very, very naughty. All the magic goes horribly wrong, and it's called the Tragic Magic Show. I do tons of stuff from school discos, school balls, and I also have an adult, very grown up, very sophisticated DJ.
And what's that DJ business called?
That's called Perth DJ Entertainment, and you can find that on my Perth Party Time site. And I also run an event venue called Jelly Bean Manor, so you can find all of these things at Party Time. And Jelly Bean Manor is the home of the jelly beans. So this is what I do all the time, every day.
Check
Very
out her
sweet.
mansion.
Yes,
She did it herself.
we did. We have been renovating an old house for 6 years, and it's a giant jelly bean, a rainbow.
Wow, 6 years of renovations.
It's out there, man.
Yeah.
It's no normal house. It's trippy.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It was lovely to meet you today, ladies.
Yeah,
Thank you for
very
coming on our
lovely, yeah.
podcast.
Thank you guys. Ciao for now.
And we will see you guys in a fortnight with some more guests.
What episode was this, Alex?
And Lucy just said amazing podcast you all should do more. Yeah.
Well, there's
There you
another
go.
116 for you to go through. If you go into videos under Facebook, you'll find another 116 of them. So you can go back, and we'll be back in a week or two with some more.
Yeah, that's it. And then in a year or two, I'd love to have you both on and see the progress
Hell
and see what's
yeah.
going on. So
Good.
yeah, 100%.
Amazing.
Nice.
All right.
All right. Yep, we will see you guys soon.
Wait
And
for the
then-
camera, everyone.
And Kelly, Betty,
Ciao.
big love from Betty Bloom. Catch you guys.
Bye, Betty.